On my wedding day, my mother-in-law, Carol, threw away my dress and said, "You'll wear the one I picked, or there won't be a wedding." I was heartbroken until my bridesmaids told me, "Look at the security camera footage." What I saw made her regret what she had done. I'm still shaking just thinking about it. My wedding day was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life. Instead, it turned into a fight I never expected. I knew Carol didn't like me. From the first time we met, she made rude comments, gave fake smiles, and compared me to the perfect woman she thought her son should marry. I put up with it for the sake of love. The wedding was at a nice place near the city. It wasn't fancy, but it was elegant, just what I wanted. I spent months planning every detail, and my dress, oh, my dress, was perfect. I tried on so many dresses until I finally found the one that made me feel beautiful. The night before the wedding, everyone stayed at a nearby hotel. My dress was hanging in the closet, carefully steamed and ready for the big day. I went to sleep feeling excited but nervous. In the morning, I woke up to my bridesmaids whispering urgently. I could feel the tension before I even opened my eyes. My maid of honor, Emma, was pacing and looked upset. "Where's my dress?" I asked, still sleepy. After a long pause, Emma said, "It's gone." I sat up quickly, confused. "What do you mean, gone?" "We woke up early to set up some things, and when we came back, it was missing. We searched everywhere, but it's gone." Panic filled me. I thought maybe the hotel staff moved it or someone took it by mistake. Then Carol walked into the room, smiling smugly. "Oh, don't worry, dear," she said with fake concern. "I got rid of that ugly dress. You'll wear the one I chose, or there won't be a wedding." The room went quiet. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, but she was serious. My beautiful dress, the one I had chosen and dreamed about, was gone. Then she showed me the dress she had picked. It was an old, ugly dress with too much lace, big bows, and a tight neckline. It was the same dress she wore years ago, now old and smelling of mothballs. "You will wear this," she insisted. "It's tradition." I felt anger rise in me, but before I could shout, Emma leaned in and whispered, "Check the security footage." I hadn't thought of that. The hotel had cameras, and if my dress was stolen from our room, there would be proof. My heart pounding, I called the front desk. "I need to see the security footage from our floor." They hesitated, saying they could only show it to the bride or groom. "I am the bride," I said firmly. "My wedding dress is missing." That was enough to get them moving. Soon, I was in the hotel office, watching the footage on a screen. There, I saw Carol sneaking into our room early in the morning with a twisted smile. She grabbed my dress, dragged it down the hall, and stuffed it into a large garbage bag. I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palms. The video then showed her walking outside to the dumpster, looking around to make sure no one was watching, and tossing my dress like it was trash. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My whole body shook with anger and shock. Emma gasped beside me, and the hotel manager looked horrified. "I'll send someone to check the dumpster now," he said. Even though I felt sick, I wasn't done. I wasn't going to let her get away with this. I turned to the manager and said, "Save that footage. I want a copy." Then I stormed back to the suite. Carol was still sitting on the couch, acting like she owned the place. When she saw my face, she smirked. "Have you come to your senses yet, dear? Ready to wear something appropriate?" she teased. I smiled a cold smile that made her uneasy. "Don't worry," I replied sweetly. "I have something perfect in mind." I pulled out my phone and played the video. Her face went pale as she saw the clear footage of her stealing my dress, putting it in a garbage bag, and dumping it like trash. "You," she stammered, "you wouldn't." "Oh, I would," I said in a cold voice. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. And she should be afraid because this wedding wasn't over, and neither was I. Her face turned ghostly pale as the video played. The only sound in the room was the hum of the video, showing her dragging my dress like it was nothing. "You," she started, voice trembling, "you wouldn't show this to anyone." I met her gaze confidently. "Oh, I will," I said firmly. I turned the phone to show my bridesmaids. One by one, their shock turned to anger. Emma was the first to speak. "You monster," she said. Carol nervously chuckled, trying to brush it off. "Oh, come on, it's just a dress, and look, it's still your wedding day. You should be thanking me for..." "For what?" I interrupted, stepping closer. "For controlling me, humiliating me, and ruining my wedding to force me into wearing your idea of perfection?" She flinched, clearly trying to regain control of the situation, but I wasn't giving her any chance. "You have two choices," I said calmly. Either you tell everyone the truth right now, admit that you stole my dress, threw it away, and forced me to wear your dress, and apologize publicly. She clenched her jaw. Or, I held up my phone. I send this video to everyone, our guests, the hotel, the wedding vendors, even the bridal boutiques in the area. I'll show them what kind of person you are. I leaned in even closer. Don't forget your friends either. I bet they'd love to see this. That's the point, Alex said coldly. For the first time, my mother-in-law, Marjorie, realized she had lost. Her face turned red with anger, and she breathed heavily, her eyes wide with fury. You'll regret this, she hissed at both of us before storming out without another word. We stood there, frozen, the air feeling heavy. Lily, my maid of honor, was the first to break the silence. Oh my, I whispered, my legs feeling weak. We're not done, I said, turning to Alex. We still need to find my dress. He nodded and pulled out his phone to call the hotel staff. Deep down, I knew the real fight had just started. Marjorie wasn't one to give up easily. I thought it was over, that she had left defeated and I had finally won. But I was wrong. Marjorie wasn't just angry, she wanted revenge. While Alex called the hotel, trying to track down my dress in the dumpster, my other bridesmaids gathered around me, worried and upset. What if they can't find it? One of them whispered. I swallowed hard. My dress wasn't just fabric, it was my special moment. Just then, the hotel manager knocked on the door, looking serious. We checked the dumpster, he said uncertainly. My stomach sank. It's not there. I blinked. After everything, checking the bags and the security footage, someone took it? The room went quiet. Lily exhaled sharply. Who would steal a wedding dress from a dumpster? Then a terrible thought hit me. I turned to the manager, my voice trembling. Do you see anyone else on the footage? He hesitated. Why yes. He showed me the video on his phone. My blood froze. In the grainy video, I saw Marjorie pulling the dress out of the dumpster. She hadn't just thrown it away in anger, she had a plan. Where did she go? I asked, my heart racing. The manager frowned as he scrolled through the footage. She left the hotel, got into her car, and drove off, with your dress. I felt dizzy. Marjorie wasn't just trying to ruin my wedding, she wanted to make sure I couldn't fix it. Call her, Lily said, grabbing Alex's arm. He nodded and dialed, but soon his frustration grew. She's not answering, he muttered. Of course she's not. A cold pit formed in my stomach. Where could she be? What was she planning? Then I remembered a threat she had made months ago. I'd thought she was just being dramatic. If you ever embarrass this family, I'll make sure that dress never sees the light of day. At the time, I chalked it up to guilt tripping. Now, I wasn't so sure. I turned to Alex, my voice sharp. She's destroying it. His eyes widened. What? She took it to ruin it, maybe to burn it, shred it, or dump it somewhere else? Some of the bridesmaids gasped. Lily grabbed her purse. We need to find her, I said. Does anyone know where she might go? Alex hesitated, then cursed. Her house, she has a fire pit in the backyard. Oh my God, without thinking, I ran for the door. Wait, where are you going? Alex called after me, but Lily and a few of the bridesmaids didn't hesitate. They followed me, leaving the others behind in shock. We dashed through the hotel lobby, ignoring the confused stares of guests. Once in the parking lot, Lily pulled out her car keys. Get in, she ordered. I buckled my seatbelt as she sped off, tires screeching. The drive to Marjorie's house was a blur. My hands shook, and my chest felt tight with worry. Please, don't let me be too late. When we finally arrived, I saw my dress in the backyard, and there was Marjorie, holding a pair of scissors. Her lips trembled, wanting to argue, but she couldn't find a way out. You wouldn't, she whispered. Try me, I replied. Before she could say more, the door opened and my fiancé, Ben, walked in, looking confused. What's going on? He asked, noticing the tension and Carol's fearful look. I didn't waste time. She threw away my dress, I said plainly, and we have video proof. His face dropped. What? Emma turned to him. She stole it and dumped it in the hotel dumpster. We just saw it on the security footage. He looked at his mom, waiting for her to deny it or defend her actions. Instead, she began to cry, not real tears of remorse, but fake tears meant to manipulate. She dramatically clutched her chest and said, I only did it because I wanted what's best for you, sweetheart. That dress was all wrong. I knew you'd regret wearing it, so I was trying to help. I felt sick. This was unbelievable, but what mattered most was Ben's reaction. For a moment, I saw doubt in his eyes. as if part of him wanted to believe her. That's when I lost my temper. I turned to him and said, "Do not defend her right now." He opened his mouth to speak, but I continued, "You need to decide now what kind of man you are. Will you stand by your wife or let your mom control you?" The room fell silent. I could see him struggling with years of conditioning and his fear of upsetting his mother, but also his fear of losing me. Finally, he took a deep breath and looked at his mom. "I can't believe you did this," he said coldly. "You ruined our wedding day." Carol's face twisted with anger. "Ruined? I saved it. She would have looked ridiculous in that dress." "Enough." Ben's voice was firm, sharper than before. Carol looked shocked, as if she had been slapped. She wasn't used to him standing up to her. Then Ben did something that shocked everyone. He took out his phone and held it up. "I'm sending this video to Dad, Aunt Lisa, and everyone else," he declared. Carol's eyes went wide, and for once, I saw her truly afraid. "No, you can't do this. You know what this will do to me, what people will think." I jumped out of the car so quickly I almost tripped. "Stop," I shouted. She turned, wide-eyed, caught in the act. The dress lay on a table, already cut in several places. For a moment, she just stared at me, then she smiled in a way that sent chills down my spine. "Oh, dear," she said sweetly, "you're too late." My vision filled with red. I wasn't thinking. I lunged at her and grabbed the dress from the table. It was torn in many spots, but I didn't care. I wasn't letting her win. "You crazy person," Lily yelled, stepping between us. "Did you really try to destroy her dress? What's wrong with you?" Marjorie crossed her arms calmly. "I did what I had to do. You ruined our wedding. You tried to control me." She tilted her head. "Oh, dear, you were never meant to be part of this family." I froze. She meant that she never wanted me to marry her son. Everything she had done, the insults, the control, the dress, was all about power. Now I knew it wasn't just about the dress. She was after control. My hands clenched into fists. I had tried to be kind, but not anymore. Holding the ruined dress, I breathed heavily as her words echoed in my head. "You were never meant to be part of this family." It wasn't just a mean comment, it was the truth. She never wanted me here, and she made sure I knew it. Even though Lily was still shouting at her, I barely heard her. My heart pounded as I turned to Marjorie, speaking in a calm, eerie voice. "You think you've won?" She smirked. "I don't think, I know I have." "That's it," I said, my voice shaking but steady. "You've spent years trying to control Alex's life. You've treated me badly because you can't stand that he loves someone you didn't choose." Her smirk faded. "But you know, it's really pathetic." I stepped closer. "Even after everything, I would have married him, not because of you, but in spite of you." She rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, shut up. You're not in charge here. You don't get to decide who's worthy. You don't decide anything." Marjorie looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Then Alex's voice cut through the tension. "I can't believe you," he said, his voice low. I turned to see him standing at the edge of the yard, pale and shaking. Marjorie's confidence cracked. "Sweetheart, she began, but he interrupted sharply. "Just don't." For the first time, I saw something new in his eyes, disgust. "You lied to me," he said, stepping closer. "You said you wanted what was best for me, but that was never true." She laughed nervously. "I was protecting you, from someone who really loves you, someone who treats you like an adult, not a child. You can't control her." Her eyes darted between us, searching for a way out, but there was none. "You ruined our wedding day," I said, "but you didn't ruin me, and you didn't ruin us." Then I turned to Alex. "Did you?" I asked, my voice trembling with the weight of the moment. Marjorie saw the hesitation in his eyes and, like a snake sensing weakness, she lunged. "Dear, you don't have to do this," she pleaded. "Come home, I'll fix everything, you don't have to marry her." Silence followed. Then Alex exhaled deeply. When he spoke, his voice was different. "I want to marry her." Marjorie flinched. His voice grew stronger. "And I don't want you in my life anymore." She gasped and stumbled back, as if struck. "You don't mean that." "I do," he said firmly. "You've been ruining everything for years, and I've let you, but not anymore." Tears welled in her eyes, and this time they were real. She wasn't just losing me, she was losing him. Alex took a deep breath and turned to me. "I love you," he said, his voice breaking. "If you'll still have me, I want to marry you today, right now." My breath caught. I stared at him, at the man who had just made the biggest decision of his life. "Yes," I whispered, and he pulled me into a tight hug. Behind us, Marjorie let out a broken sob and then walked away. We got married that day, the wedding we deserved. My dress was ruined, but it didn't matter. One of my bridesmaids had a simple white gown in her suitcase for the reception. It wasn't what I planned, but it was perfect. We stood in front of our closest family and friends, with Alex's father walking him down the aisle instead of his mother, and when we exchanged our vows, I knew I had made the right choice. As for Marjorie, she wasn't there. She didn't call or text. She was gone for months. She tried to reach out with emails and voicemails, begging for another chance and swearing she had changed, but we knew better. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry she lost. For the first time in my life, I felt free, because in the end, I won, not just the wedding, but my future, and that was worth more than any dress in the world. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, we love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.